morning, everyone. Please stand if you feel so inclined and help me sing I Can See Clearly Now. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Bright, 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 sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is a rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. Oh, 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 oh. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. All of the all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day. Thank you. We're going to veer a little bit from your bulletin and sing a couple of others that I think you'll know. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need.
See, you can put your bulletins down now.
All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One more time. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright.
Can you feel the love? Yes. Can you hear me? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. I can hear you.
Okay. Ta-da! What you may or may not know about me is I do have an outside voice all the time. But I'll save you. Anyway, good morning and welcome to the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. What a beautiful Sunday. It's a special Sunday to some people, you know, Palm Sunday. I don't know if you roll that way, but if you do, happy Palm Sunday. Yes. Yes. And we are a beautiful spiritual community that's doors have been open for well over 50 years, supporting and enhancing and celebrating the well-being of all living things. We recognize the sacredness in everyone and everything, in all experiences, in all situations, whether hard or easy, that there is some divinity, some beauty, something to learn from it. And so we celebrate life together here. We're here by divine appointment for our soul's transcendence and uplifting and our commitment to our spiritual journey. So thank you for keeping your commitment to yourself. If you're here for the first time, there is a visitor's table out front. You can sign up for to be reminded of the events that are going on in our community, or you can come see me and if you have any questions. We have an amazing service for you this morning. Can you still feel the energy from 9 a.m.? Oh, yeah, it was rocking. So we have Tina Carson as our musical guest. We have our beautiful Lindsay Headley as our house musician. Leona Rustin, our practitioner, she will be reciting our Sacred Covenant. And then we have Tina Carson again as our practitioner this morning. Multifaceted practitioner, that is. But first, I have some announcements to make. The first one is next Sunday is Easter Sunday. We would like to invite you to play along with us and wear a fancy, crazy hat next Sunday. It's, huh? Oh. Yes. I've been hanging out with Janice and Pam too long. Anyway, it'll be fun. We'd love to take pictures of you and show the world how much fun we can have here. Second, I'd like to invite up a special couple people to give an announcement. You ready? Okay.
I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how the it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together.
Okie dokie. Hi. If you can't tell, we took our time machine back again, 1967 to now. It is a long journey, man.
It is. I'm tired.
Yeah. If you remember last week, she couldn't come, so my name's Crystal. Crystal by the sea. We have a long line of cousins. Come back every year with something crazy. So this year, it's going to start on June the 9th. I got her crying. She's laughing, sorry. June the 9th. It's going to be much more laid back this year.
Yes.
We're going to have food stations, nothing that is, the seats are not going to be reserved. There will be seats that you can sit at, but that way we can all mill about, and you're not stuck with people that you're stuck with. That doesn't sound right.
It'll be a free-for-all.
A free-for-all! Yay, free! So, Janice is going to fill you in on some of the details. That's her part.
No, Joplin. Joplin. There will be dancing, of course. There will be a silent auction, a live auction, a raffle, and we need you there. We're going to start selling tickets April the 8th, so the week after Easter, and we will be collecting new or collectible items for our silent auction. So we will be open for business, guys. You have to come. CSL a go-go.
Yes, go. So as far as the auction items go, those of us on the committee, we have several different hats we wear, and April's going to be super, super busy for us, so then that gives us May, and we usually have at least 4 to 5 months to get ready for this thing, which we have been planning since like September or something like that.
Yeah.
But still, if you have items that you want to donate, if you make jewelry, if you make things, if you've got something that just is really precious and you're not using it anymore, and it can be auctioned off, or you have vacations home somewhere or something like that, get together with your friends and see what you can pull together. And Janice, Cindy Stevens, and John Partington are kind of in charge of getting all that stuff together and pricing it and putting it all out and that kind of thing. So if you want to volunteer, you can see any of us, but you can see me, and we are so excited, and it's going to be so much fun.
Yay.
Thank you, guys. I'm kind of looking forward to every year what craziness comes up here. Are you guys? It's interesting. You never know what you're going to get. Also, Florian, are you available? Florian. She'll come out here in a minute. She's hiding from me. Okay. Until then, look at these. Miss Florian, would you mind spending time with us on stage? Thank you. Thank you. I told you I'd mama bear you. It's all yours.
What am I supposed to say? Okay.
Tell them what you need.
First of all, I'm getting old, so I need help. And Janie is a little older than me, and so she's having to slow down. And she's actually going to have shoulder replacement, so she's out for several weeks. I'm looking for help on a rotating basis so that no one's totally committed like I am every week, but just so I need help in like some preparation on Saturday nights or table setting. I need help with food preparation on Sunday for either service. Cleanup is a big thing after services, dishes and putting all the food away. And, the bagels are another issue. Janie has been fortunate enough to go to the same bagel shop for years, and they graciously give us bagels on Saturday, whatever they have left. And sometimes it's a little bit, sometimes it's a lot, but they're very gracious and give them to us, and then that's why we're allowed to put them out for everybody to take home. So, but again, because of Janie's situation, we need someone who was willing to pick them up maybe once a month on a Saturday afternoon. And so John Partington has already volunteered to do it at least once a month or twice a month. But if we just have someone once a month be committed to getting the bagels. They don't have to come on Saturday night, but they can come on Sunday morning if that's more convenient. I just need them for the 9 o'clock service. Anything else? Dishes is a big
People
thing.
to support the 9 a.m. service so that you can come at 11 because you stay late to clean up. Yes.
Well, yeah, I do come on Friday or Saturday nights, and I do the table setting and food preparation so that I don't have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the
Do you
morning
want them
be
to
here.
sign up, or do they want
I'm
them to
sorry.
talk to you?
Thank you. No,
Yeah.
either way. But we do have a sign-up sheet. I made it yellow so that it stands out from all the other boards, and so that way you can it's sort of identified by that way. And so, yeah, anything is appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Also, these beautiful flowers this morning, they're for Alan, my loving husband. Where are you, Alan? Are you here? Oh. Anyway, they're for my loving husband, a great artist and human being. Happy birthday. So that's very sweet. From Chris, right? Also, we have our Wednesday night service this Wednesday. We're still in the season for nonviolence. And last month, Reverend Michael and Reverend Juanita discussed Mahatma Gandhi and his journey through nonviolence. And so this Wednesday, they'll be focusing in on Martin Luther King Jr. and his journey of nonviolence. So I hope to see you all there at 6:30 p.m. And now I would like to, Good Friday. We have a service going on Good Friday at 6:30. It's Reverend Juanita and Reverend Donna and Lindsay Hudley for music. And this is an amazing service. They taught me so much in our meeting that they're going to talk about the metaphysical interpretation and meaning behind the Good Friday experience. And so how that really is significant and meaningful in our lives today. And so it's very intriguing, and so I invite you all to join us for that. It's going to be beautiful. And now I'd like us to just take that time where we get to do a little spiritual practice together, where we get to go into that silence together, into that stillness, into that sacred space, recognizing that right here and now is a holiness because we are here. There is a sacredness to life because we are alive. And it is our desire to come together as we read the sacred covenant and then go into our invocation, that we spend this time in contemplation, becoming the vision casters for our community and for our own lives, dwelling in that space of the Most High within us. So we'll begin with our sacred covenant.
There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with the life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved Jewel by the Sea. And because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as wholeness. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, we see a world in which every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle. All human endeavor is to find such an inward wholeness that all sense of fear, doubt, and uncertainty vanishes. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as a wise and loving presence, God's consciousness in expression. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and alignment with my community, knowing this truth about myself, for I am inspired to live as love in the expression of wholeness. I am awakening the wisdom within me. I am applying the power of love through wisdom. I am connecting with, loving, and serving our local communities. I am creating an inclusive, loving environment for individuals and families and a thriving youth program. I am exploring the mystical teachings of different traditions. I am fostering an elevated music program that aligns with the message. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they are revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and the greatest good for all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful. God is gracious. Amen.
Amen. As we stay in this space, in this beautiful place of reverence and self-contemplation within us, we listen to the beautiful words of Lindsay and the invocation of Tina.
All we can really do is love one another. All we can really do is love one another.
God looks good as you. You are looking good this morning as God. I want to encourage you to think about something real quick, about the last compliment that you received, and I'll help you. Boy, you're looking good this morning. I feel safe with you. You're such a good friend. You're so talented. I wish I was like you. I wish I could speak like you. I love the way you speak. I love the way you listen. I love how you express yourself. You're so smart. Your eyes are so beautiful. I'm so inspired by you. You teach me. You're such a trusted friend. I would trust you with my life. I know that all of you fall into one of those categories, so you can't get out of it. My encouragement to you is to continue this spiritual practice. Contemplate the compliments you've received without the yeah buts. No editing. Just let it flow. And at the end of that, I want to share with you what Spirit shared with me in this. After I had a list of love and talent and music and speaking and I'm safe with yous and you've got pretty eyes, it was this. Your whole life, you've been asking me who you are. And your whole life I've been telling you. You see? Each compliment is the voice of God telling you who you are, sharing love with you because we're one. And so I've got one more exercise for you during this invocation, during this spiritual practice and tone setting. If you would, put your hand on your chest. And I want together for us to say, I am perfect, whole, and complete. Ready? I am perfect, whole, and complete. I want to encourage you to do it again and feel your hand. Here we go. I am perfect, whole, and complete. And now you physically felt the voice of God. As you is you. And you've heard it around you. This is sacred ground. Wherever you go, that is sacred ground. And we'll just go into the silence with whatever flows to you. And so knowing that we are one and we are grounded and centered in this sacred space of our individual expressions and our collective oneness, the knowing that nothing can separate us, that the love that we uniquely express as ourselves is one love, that all of the talents and all of the pieces of our essence that we uniquely express is the one that expresses through life itself. So I'm grateful for this space that we come together to be reminded and grounded in this. I'm grateful for all of the unique expressions that come forth and put this space together for us, from the kitchen to the go-go dancers, to the children's church, and our ministers, and our practitioners, and especially all of the individuals that come in here and just step into this oneness, this I am a part of-ness. And so I bless this time together, knowing that Spirit inspires us and sustains this inspiration. And so it is.
All we can really do is love one another. All we can really do is love one another. Sing with me. All we can really do is love one another. All we can really do is love one another.
Please welcome Lindsay and Tina. Thanks. Well, she did enough talking for us, so we won't. 2, 3, 4. Here we go again, creation. Clap down for the jubilation. Look at all that light you're making. Send it out on reservation. Like a river, we let it flow. Still hot like a volcano. Mother Earth still got my soul in the hot and the cold and the rain and the snow. Hello, wish on a butterfly wing. Take that crown, put it on that king. Sing like a child, no care for opinion. Real love across all dominion. Oh, so bountiful. Pull it back and let it go. Like ocean wave, we're powerful. Constellation magical. So this love still holds true. Now what you gonna do? I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Between the moon and sun, this life is therefore done. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Set up by you. I stand up, cap on my hands up, root that's strong like Mount Kea. In the ocean, whole emotion, ride that flow, I'll see you later. In the park of Shangri-La, I see my ma, she's standing holy. All those colors filled with glory, open up and hear the story. Oh, this love still holds true. Now what you gonna do? I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Between the moon and sun, this life is never done. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you.
life is never done. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. This love still holds true. Now what you gonna do? I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you. Between the moon and sun, this life is never done. I won't give up on you. I won't give up on you.
Thank you guys so much. I'm smiling so big because Tina and I like the same kind of music, so. Oh, so good. Well, our message this morning is called the Sacred Sidewalk. So, I thought I should probably start by telling you what happened to me this week and how that came about. As many of you might know, or not, I have a 6-month-old miniature schnauzer. And she is just the sweetest, cutest little thing ever in life. I had no idea that I've never had a dog before. So I did not know that inviting like this little furry ball of fuzz into my life would like transcend the amount of love and joy that was in this house, right? Oh, it is incredible. But little Miss Emma Curtis Hopkins Jr. has separation anxiety. Okay. So on Tuesdays when I'm here for like 12 hours, I just bring her with me up into the office, and she has a little bed, and she kind of barks, but if you ask Yvonne, just give her a treat and she'll like you. So every couple hours I take her out for a walk, right? And we get to explore Seal Beach. I mean, it's so beautiful and so wonderful here. And there was this one day, we were walking on what I now know is called the Green Belt. And it was a perfect day. I mean, the wind was just blowing enough, it was just warm enough, the sun was just shining enough, and everything just felt good, you know? And all of a sudden, we're walking down the sidewalk, and everything just all of a sudden, it felt alive to me. The wind, it just blew in such a way that the leaves just started twinkling like they were alive with magic. And the ground beneath me, it started to feel like I was connected to it. The green grass felt greener, and it was one of those moments that felt like the veil just lifted. This was the sacred. This was that holy space. This was the truth about life. And it took my little dog needing to go to the bathroom to pull me out of my work, to pull me out of the office, to pull me out of my comfort zone and get me into life, right? Not always is life outside, but for me in this instant it was, into that majestic beauty that's really all around us in our ordinary life. And so it got me thinking about us, and it got me thinking, where do we hold, what do we hold sacred in our lives? And where do we find the sacred in our lives? And really, how committed are we to it? So that's what we'll talk about this morning. That's what we're going to explore. And there's this really interesting thing that's been going on in the world, right? It feels like it just keeps moving really, really, really fast, you know? I'm kind of that millennial who remembers having a telephone with the cord on it in the kitchen that you got to sneak behind the door to call your little, your sweetheart. And then bam, you get a beeper. Then bam, you got a telephone. Then you got a flip phone. Then you got a iPhone, right? And there's all these different things that you have to do. Like if you want to be anybody, now you have to like social media market yourself, and then you have to like take pictures and do this and that. And it's like, oh dear Lord, you know? That's what it feels like sometimes. We're moving so fast. Or there's people who like they got to go to the latest restaurant and stand in line for hours, or they've got to have this or that, or those new shoes that came out, or those Jimmy Choos, or whatever it is, right? And so with as much and as fast as this is going on, there's also this really cool thing that's kind of not combating it, but balancing it. And it's called spirituality. Religion is kind of dying off a bit, but spirituality is like hot stuff right now. You know how many people in the world say that they're spiritual but not religious? Most of them, you know? And so it's interesting that like pop spirituality, look at Deepak and Oprah, they're like booming with success, right? Meditation studios are like having waiting lists. Headspace, an app on your phone, is like the #1 app right now, which is all about meditation. So it's comforting to know, actually, that with as fast as life gets, with as much as we try to cram into it, Spirit somehow is always trying to balance us out with finding the sacred, and no matter what, whether it's on your iPhone getting you to meditate, or whether it's, pulling you to a call to something deeper. This is always going on, and as big and crazy as the world gets is as big and bad as this thing called spirituality gets, right? So it's always an equal proportion. We just sometimes don't always feel like it is because we're leaning one way over another. And Ken Pargament, he is a world-renowned scholar on religion, and he works at the Bowling Green University, and he studied spirituality for over 35 years. And what he says, he defines spirituality as the search for the sacred. That spirituality is the search for the sacred in ordinary life. And he also says that spirituality is so incredibly good for our well-being, and well-being means our spiritual, mental, and emotional fitness and health, right? That spirituality is so important to our well-being because it gets us to focus on what we value. Because when we start to become aware of the things that we value in our lives, then we will pay more attention to that. When we start to become aware of the things that we hold sacred, we become aware of it and we can incorporate it. And so that leads me to the first question. What do we hold sacred? What do we hold sacred? And in a minute, I'll give you a chance to shout out what you hold sacred, but I found this really interesting. Our theme this month is finding the sacred in everyday life. And so there's one thing that we all have in common that a group of people find to be the most sacred thing in the entire world. And the one thing we all have in common is at some point every day we all use water, right? And so the Blackfeet tribe, the Blackfeet are a Native American tribe in Montana and the lower part of Canada. And they helped participate in the protesting of the pipeline and all of that situation. And the reason for that was the importance in that whole situation was figuring out why did the water mean so much to them. And so I want to tell you a little bit about the Blackfeet's theology. They believe that there's 3 realms of existence. There's the earth realm, there's the sky realm, and then there's the water realm. And each of these realms is completely infused with the divine. And each of them has divine beings in them. But somewhere a long time ago, the divine beaver began to speak with one of the Blackfeet. And they taught the Blackfeet about the religious ceremonies that they needed to do in order to stay in alignment with the earth and with the Great Spirit. And so they also, the divine beaver, also taught the Blackfeet people not to ever take any life beings, water beings out of the water and use them for food, to never pollute the water, and to never disrupt the water. So then in the Blackfeet's tradition, it becomes a sacred land, a sacred space that needs to be and remain untouched. And they will protect and defend that to the end. Because for them, that is their most holy place. Just like, Mount Sinai, where Moses went up and talked to God and got the 10 Commandments and everything, how sacred that space is for them is as sacred as this water is for the Blackfeet people. And so it's really interesting to see what they're willing to do, how far they're willing to go to protect what they hold sacred. And it got me thinking, like, what do we hold sacred, and how far are we willing to go to protect that? What are we willing to fully encompass and embody in order to hold true to our values? So what are some of the things that hold value or that you hold as sacred in your life? Anybody else?
Love. My cat.
Oh, yeah. Nature? Yes. Friendships. She said friendships. Yes? Everything, yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about it for me that there's two, well, I'll just share one thing that I hold so sacred that I would do anything for it, and it's my children. I will protect and defend these human beings to the ends of life, against their grandma, against Michael. I mean, come on. They would never do any harm to them. But what I would say to anyone who is having negative thoughts about teenagers or kids these days is, please don't even put my children in your mind. We know here what the thinking, feeling nature of things does, right? It creates. You're not creating nothing in my kid's life. I will hold their consciousness tight. I'm just saying, I will protect and defend that to them because they are the most sacred beings on this earth for me. Another thing that I hold most sacred is time alone, private time. I will protect and defend that to the end. I will say, we need 30 minutes by ourselves. I'll protect it by a locked door, by driving away, whatever it takes, because for me, that's the way that I recharge and recenter myself in spirit. It's just a few minutes alone. And so it's important to recognize what we hold sacred in our lives. And the next question is that where do we find the sacred? Where do we find the sacred? Yeah, people find the sacred in many different ways. Have you ever been to Sedona? Some people find the sacred in drinking their own pee. I mean, there's really interesting things. I'm telling you. There's books. People find the sacred in books. I know that was a bizarre one, but I always found that to be strange. Buddha did it once, though, so it's whatever. People find the sacred in ceremonies, in relationships, in a song, in all sorts of things, right? But we don't always find the sacred in everything, except for you, Percy, yeah. And so there's this study done. The Yale University did a study of, I think it was 40 people who were recently married and pregnant. And half of them believed that their pregnancy and their marriage was a sacred event, a sacred experience. They were brought together by divine appointment, and this was their divine destiny. And the other half of the people believed that it was just happenstance. These were just the cards they were dealt. They just found somebody, got married, got pregnant, just was. Well, they did this study over 3 years, and so the children were 2 years old by this time, and the results were fascinating to me, because the people who held their marriage and their pregnancy as sacred, as a sacred, holy experience, their children were like 20 times more healthy. Their marriages were rock solid. And half of the other people were divorced by then. And their children had a lot more sickness in their first couple years of marriage. I mean, that was so fascinating to me, because it made me think, like, would we be treating the people around us any differently if we really saw them as the divine? If we really saw them as God? Would we be treating our partners any differently, or our children, or our parents, or our coworkers, or those people around who don't like us or appreciate us? Would we treat them any differently if we could really look at them and say, yes, I don't always get it, but you are a sacred being? I think we would. I think it would open up space in us to be a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more understanding and forgiving. Think about the people that you hold with such regard in your life. Aren't you a little bit more flexible with them? You give them a little bit more chances. What if we were able to start opening up to that and doing that with more and more people in our lives? And if you still have a hard time thinking about where you find the sacred, just think about these kind of things. Think about when are you in your zone of genius? When do you lose time and space because whatever you're doing, you're so caught up in it? Where do you feel like you fall in love? Where do you light up? Where do you find the most joy in life? Those are your sacred spaces, your sacred experiences. And those are what you need to treasure and to cultivate and to bring into your life even more. Which leads us to the third question: how committed are we? Once we recognize what we hold value, what we recognize what we hold as sacred, and when we start seeing where we find the sacred in our lives, how committed are we to actually experiencing it, to actually encompassing it into our lives? How committed are we to this spiritual journey we're on? Saint Irenaeus, who, I'm probably screwing up that name, he was a bishop back in like 150 AD, and then after he died, he went on and became a Catholic saint. And he once said that it's God's ultimate glory to see the human spirit fully alive. It's God's glory to see the human person fully alive. I feel like that's the process and the purpose of our entire lives, is to work towards that self-realization, that self-actualization, that our vocation is to become more human, not less human, that in being more human, we are actually being more holy and more sacred. And that is every one of our noble purpose, our purpose in life, to be fully alive as a human spiritual being on this earth, incarnated to bring joy and love to ourselves and others. Do you agree? So how committed are we? I want to share with you a little reading. In one of the mystical Christian traditions, it says that life is both inherently and potentially holy. Inherently holy because we and all of life come from God, which is holy. We are a work in process who must choose daily to fulfill both our end of the divine human partnership and our original identity in God. Holiness is the ongoing commitment to human becoming. Holiness is the ongoing commitment to human becoming. It is the name for the dynamic, ongoing shift from self-conscious to self-surrender, which reconfigures life so that God is the center towards which all forces tend. I want to say that again. Holiness is the name for the dynamic, ongoing shift from self-conscious to self-surrender, which reconfigures life so that God is the center towards which all things tend. Self-surrender. Self-surrender to God. What would it be like if we surrendered our egos and surrendered our struggles and surrendered our worries and our doubts and our fears to God? That's what it's there for. That's why it's within us and around us. That's why there's 7 billion people on this earth. To be God in expression for us, like Tina said, to be that complement for us. How committed are we to our own self-realization, to our own self-actualization? How committed are we to seeing the dirty dishes that pile up as sacred? How committed are we to seeing the experience of being on a traffic jam in the 405 as sacred? Because all tends and leans towards the divine. How committed are we to seeing the sacred in those people who hurt us, who don't appreciate us, and who bring struggle to our lives? Because we know, if anybody knows, that they are there by divine appointment too. That they are God in action, teaching us and growing us in ways that we could not have even imagined. How committed are we to this? Spiritual growth is not for the faint of heart. I mean, whew. It is exhausting and terrifying and magnificent and beautiful and all of these things. But we're committed. And when we're committed, you know, I'd like to say, don't worry when you get frustrated by all the detours along your way, but that would be just a crock, you know? You know what that means? Oh, am I allowed to say that? Okay. Because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna fall on our knees like in our old traditions and kiss the ground. We're gonna pray to any God we can. We're going to, you know, we're gonna do it. We're all who's been hit by the divine 2x4? Yeah, we've been there, okay? It happens. And yet, the spiritual journey is the journey, right? It's the journey, and we've chosen to be on this journey. And so the one solace I hope that we can all find is that when we do get knocked down, when we do get frustrated, when roadblocks come in our way and we think, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, that we come to somewhere like this place and look around and remember that we're all doing it too. That we're all on this journey also. And that there is love here for you. My goodness. There is forgiveness. There is compassion. There is a shoulder. I mean, heck, yesterday we even helped a family pack their house up. You know, there's hard labor. Whatever is needed, we are a community of people who are in this together. That's all I have to say right now, but I'd like to invite up Susan and Dwayne to share a sacred prayer with us.
Good morning. And I didn't do this first service, but I'm going to have to do it this service because it keeps yelling at in my brain. What you described, Nicole, as protecting the young ones, that's Mama Bear. That's one of your power animals. Don't mess with her children. So, traditionally, what would happen when two different groups came together, they would do this prayer, and they would do it traditionally at sunrise. I don't know about you, but I can pretend this is sunrise. So we're going to pretend it's sunrise. It's called an echo. And Dwayne is going to help me. I might represent like the short tribe. He might represent the tall tribe. I might represent the old tribe. He might represent the young, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I am your sister. We are one people.
I am your brother. We are one. We are one people.
The Great Spirit has given us Mother Earth.
The Great Spirit has given us Mother Earth.
We pray to be in balance with all living things.
We pray to be in balance with all living things.
Those who walk, those who fly, those who swim, and those who crawl.
Those who walk, those who fly, those who swim, and those who crawl.
Mother Earth is bountiful.
Mother Earth is bountiful.
And we are surrounded each day with the blessings of the Great Spirit.
We are surrounded each day with the blessings of the Great Spirit.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Thank you so much. And so it is. Tina?
She wasn't that good? She slipped away. She got out of that real fast. Did you notice? Normally we want to shout with our hands. So just do it again.
You're so silly.
No. That's called insurance in case you accidentally do something with the kids. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Tricksters, tell you. I love the sacred. I love my sacred is 5. Right. Yeah. My sacred that's sacred to me is people. I just love people. I like my favorite is the hit and run. Baristas at Starbucks, and just love them and leave. Except I do that a lot where I live in the Circle of Orange, and they all know me now. But I'm still a hit and runner. And I love that. What I love about the community here and belonging to it is that we see each other, right? And a lot goes unspoken, and that's perfect because we're all one. And what we can do is we can return through someone else's space they're holding for us. Do you see what I'm saying? It's so powerful. So. Can drum beats out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Sing if you know. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. One more time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after time. See, you're singing that to each other. Time after time. Feel it. Time after time.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Lindsay. Good morning. Your tithes make a magnificent difference in three very important ways. First of all, your tithes support this community, which then in turn can better support and serve you. Your tithes also support our local community. And this month, we are happy to offer a tithe to one of the organizations in the community, Seneca of Orange County. And we have with us today a representative from Seneca, Sarah Arpiarian, and she's going to come up here and receive their tithe and tell us a little bit about the work that they're doing in the community. Sarah?
Yes, I'm Sarah. Thank you all for having me today. I really enjoyed the service. I'm from Seneca Family of Agencies. We are a mental health agency. We're based all throughout California and Washington, but we have a presence here in Southern California. We provide therapeutic services to youth in the community, to children and families. So we provide therapy. We also provide adoption services. We even have a therapeutic horse riding program in Anaheim Hills. So we try to provide really comprehensive services to underrepresented youth and families all throughout Orange County. And then the specific program that your tithe this week is going to is our Family Finding Program, which is a very special program. It's for children in the foster care system. It should be a service that every child in the foster care system gets, but unfortunately they don't due to lack of funding and opportunities and things like that. So our Family Finding Program helps search for family members that the children who have been placed in the foster care system lose touch with. A lot of times that can happen where a child is placed in the system and the parental rights are terminated and they lose touch with their biological parents. And with that, they also lose touch with any extended family, any previous teachers or coaches, important people in their lives. They get separated. They move from home to home to home, and they keep getting further and further away from their families. And so our Family Finding Program is able to search for those family members. And with the goal of making those connections for the kids, sometimes it can end up that the child, we can find a family member for that child that they didn't even know the child had been placed in the system. And then that child can go live with that family member. That's ideal. But even if they can't live with the family members we find, we help for them to make those connections that those kids have lost, which can be, just huge for them. It can really make all the difference in their lives. And so your generous donations are going to help that program, which is an unfunded program. So we need all of the donations we can get to help keep that service going for those youth in the foster care system. So we really, really appreciate it. And yes, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your generosity.
So Sarah, don't go anywhere yet. So on behalf of the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living, we'd like to present this check for $434.67 to Seneca of Orange County.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I said your tithes make a difference in 3 ways, and the third way that your tithes make a difference is in your own life, because when you give, you keep that flow of circulation taking place in your life, that flow of actual money and that flow of love and support and all the things that are blessings to you in your life take place when you give. So at this time, let's do our offering. And I would like for you to take your offering, and I'd like to hold it over my heart. And let's repeat our offering blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous. Thank you, God.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Good morning. My name is Pam Watanabe, and I am a practitioner here at the Seal Beach Center for Spiritual Living. I invite all the other practitioners and ministers to please stand as we go into our closing prayer. We, the practitioners and ministers here at the Jewel by the Sea, we believe in the power of prayer. If you would please note that in the back there are prayer requests that you can write down. There's a little box you can put it in, and what happens is after the service, as many practitioners that are available meet in the back room, and we pray right then and there, and then throughout the week we continue those prayers for those that need it. Also, there will be practitioners along the side here, and you can just go up to them and get what we call the 1-minute miracle. We don't really, well, yeah, we'll pray. So. I now invite you to consider this thought. Life is a moving, beautiful thing. We have to be willing to constantly evolve. Perfection is constant transformations. Today, I affirm my faith in a loving and powerful presence of good. Today, I declare a faith in my own affirmations. Today, I recognize that there is a power flowing through me, taking the form of my belief, acting on my acceptance, and answering my prayers. Therefore, I am calling upon myself for a deeper faith, a broader conviction, a higher acceptance, a more complete realization of the truth of good. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I affirm that every good thing I do will prosper. Every person I meet will be blessed. Every situation I touch will be helped. Everywhere I go, some subtle influence of love, joy, and peace will infuse itself as a glow from the eternal light of heaven itself. I release these words into the law and with a grateful heart accept that it already is. And if you'd like, say with me, and so it is.
Do we have kids ready to come in? Ooh.
Good morning. So this morning we're wrapping up our month on friendship, and in the group that in my group from kinder to third, we selected a word today, a virtue word that is something that we want to bring into friendship, not only with others but also with ourselves, and we're going to share them with you real quickly. What's your word?
Gentle. Patience. Hi.
Thank you.
Loyal. Loyal. Caring. Happy. Funny. Peaceful.
Oh. Thank you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Miss Wenda, and she'll tell you what the teens did.
Good morning. Actually, I'm not going to tell you what the teens did. Mr. Seth here is going to tell you what the teens did. Do you want me to hold this for you so you can hold your stuff? Or do you need the microphone to get the full experience?
Probably.
Okay, I'll hold this.
Good morning. All right, so today what we did is we figured out what we wanted, or we asked ourselves what we wanted from the youth group, or what we wanted the youth group to be. And for example, we asked ourselves a question, what is something we can do as a group to become better friends? And we would answer we would spend more time together, talk outside of church, and as a group, go movie nights and everything. And we'd write it on a sticky note and then just slap it on the board. And then, we did that for 6, 7 questions. And yeah. That's it.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite you all to rise and take a hand. Okay, good, thank you. I'd like you to repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
Something wonderful is happening to me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in all that I do.
Life is in all that I do.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Oh, I give thanks for it.
I give thanks for it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
And just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. joyous vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Have a wonderful day, everyone.